On a cold, rainy night, the streets shimmered with silver reflections. The storm had chased most people indoors, but one boy, a 16-year-old named Evan Lysander, was still out there, running through the downpour. His coat was soaked, his hair clung to his forehead, and the torn umbrella he carried did little to keep him dry. But he wasn't running from the rain. He was running from the noise in his own mind. The endless thoughts, the feeling of not fitting anywhere, the questions no one could answer. And then, through the veil of rain, he saw it. A tall, ancient building standing alone at the end of the street. Its wooden doors carved with stars and moons, faint golden light glowing from within. It looked like it didn't belong to this world at all. Evan slowed down, heart pounding. As he stepped closer, the noise of the rain faded. The air grew still, heavy with something unexplainable. He placed his hand on the cold handle and pushed. The doors creaked open with a sigh, and the world outside disappeared behind him. Inside, the library was enormous. Rows of shelves stretching beyond sight, candles floating in midair, and dust swirling like starlight. It was silent, yet alive. As he walked deeper, he noticed whispers, faint, almost like voices trapped inside the books. He leaned closer. The whispers grew clearer. Not yet finished, forgotten, waiting. Suddenly, one book glowed. Evan froze. The book trembled, rose from the shelf, and hovered before him. On its leather spine, letters began to shimmer, forming his name. Evan Lysander. His breath caught. The book opened on its own, pages flipping rapidly until they stopped. Golden light poured out, wrapping around his hands. The air vibrated, and the words lifted off the paper, twisting, swirling, and forming a door of living ink and light. What is this? Evan whispered. But curiosity overpowered fear. He took a step forward, then another. And as his fingers brushed the glowing doorway, the world shattered into brilliance. He fell, not through darkness, but through light. Books whirled around him, pages fluttering like wings. Rivers of ink flowed beneath him, and constellations spun in the sky above. When he finally landed, it was on a bridge made of golden script. Every letter beneath his feet glowed softly. A calm voice echoed through the air. "Welcome, traveler of stories." He turned, and there she was. A tall woman with flowing silver hair, her eyes shimmering like galaxies. Her robes shimmered with faint glowing symbols that moved like living ink. "Who are you?" he asked, breathless. "I am the librarian of worlds," she said with a soft smile. "Guardian of all that was written and all that was not." Evan looked around in awe. At the rivers of ink, the flying books, the soft hum in the air. "Where am I?" "In the space between stories," she replied. "A place where forgotten tales rest and unwritten dreams await their chance to be told." She gestured gently, and the books around them began to flutter, glowing brighter. "Every soul writes a story," she said, "but not everyone finishes theirs." The librarian guided him through the kingdom, until they reached a quiet corner bathed in violet light. There, lying still among fragments of torn books, was a single page, ripped and crumpled, its ink faded and faint. "What is that?" Evan asked. "It's yours," she said softly. "A page from your story that you abandoned long ago." He reached out and froze. The page shimmered faintly, showing a faint memory of his younger self, sitting alone in the rain, eyes filled with tears he never let fall. "I don't want to remember that," he whispered. The librarian's gaze was kind but firm. Even the broken pages matter, Evan. Pain is still part of your story. You cannot throw it away, but you can rewrite it. With a wave of her hand, a golden quill formed in the air, glowing warmly. "Right," she said, "not to erase." But to understand, Evan hesitated, then took the quill. He knelt beside the page, his hand trembling. Slowly, he began to write. Words of forgiveness, words of courage, words he wished someone had told him back then. And as he wrote, the ink on the page began to glow. The torn edges mended themselves with golden light until it was whole again. Evan smiled softly, tears in his eyes. "It's beautiful," the librarian nodded. "It always was. You just needed to see it." The world around him began to shimmer, the bridge fading, the books turning into dust and stars. The librarian's voice echoed gently. "Your story will keep writing itself, Evan. Just promise me. You won't stop turning the pages." He opened his mouth to reply, but light burst around him, and the realm dissolved. When he opened his eyes, he was lying on the wooden floor of the library once again. Morning sunlight streamed through the tall arched windows. The storm was gone. The world was quiet, peaceful. Beside him lay the same book, its cover now whole and glowing faintly with his name. He touched it gently. The heartbeat of magic pulsed beneath his fingers. Alive. He smiled, softly whispering, "Thank you." Evan stood and looked around. Everything seemed different now. Not because the world had changed, but because he had. He stepped outside into the golden morning light. The rain had washed the town clean, leaving behind the scent of earth and renewal. The streets sparkled, and the sun painted everything in warmth. He held a small brown notebook in his hands, blank, waiting. He smiled, feeling something he hadn't in a long time. Peace. "This time," he whispered, "I'll write it my way." And for the first time, he didn't run from the noise in his head. He listened, because now it was full of stories. As Evan walked away, the faint golden glow followed him, drifting like tiny letters of the air. Somewhere, beyond the clouds, the librarian's voice echoed once more. "Every soul carries a library within," she whispered. "Some pages are bright, some are torn. Some are yet to be written. But remember, Evan, and remember, dear listener, no story is ever truly lost until you stop believing in your power to change it." The book back in the library opened on its own, its pages glowing softly as words began to rise into the sky. Rewrite your next chapter. The golden light spread across the horizon, fading into the morning. And as the last shimmer disappeared, only silence remained. The kind that feels like hope.